Hey, and welcome to Dr. G Speaks. I am Dr. Kristen Guillory, and I am so very excited to help you experience a life of freedom, faith, and fun you may not even realize is possible. Listen, I know you feel held back, I know you feel stuck, and I know you are hiding. As a coach and the author of Look, Stop Hiding, How to Find Your Voice and Never Dim Your Light Again, you will get to listen to some amazing stories, receive some homework, that's the professor in me, and get some tools to help you live the life you deserve. It's time to quiet the noise and walk in the fullness of who God created you to be. It's time to stop hiding and start thriving. Together, we'll uncover your potential and ignite your journey to a fulfilling life, a life of freedom. I'll pass the mic back to you in just a moment. But you mentioned you've been married 25 years, and congratulations on that. And I say that I don't always say congratulations when someone says they've been married 25 or 30 years, because that does not mean it's good. So I am that unique person that when I see somebody online who gets engaged, I don't go comment congratulations. I don't go heart the post because I don't know the relationship. And it doesn't mean I need to know the details. What I mean is, I don't know if there is abuse behind the scenes. I don't know what is going on. I have some colleagues right now who on social media, they look fabulous as a couple, and I know they're struggling, but they want to present that. And I get that. No one wants to publicly say we're not good. The reason I say congratulations to you is, Karen, it's not even the words that you say when you talk about your marriage and you and your husband and your family, it's the energy behind it. You call him your friend. You all were friends first. Y'all met in a unique circumstance. You weren't even considering him in that way. And there's a genuine like that y'all have for each other and how you describe different things. So that's why I say congratulations on that end. And you mentioned that you want others who have a desire to be married to experience joy more similar to yours. So to that person who is, whether she or he, they're married or they're thinking about it, what would you say is, give top two for you all to have? So if you're talking to this person, for you to have a joy-filled marriage, these are two things that are necessary. What are the two?
In order to have a joy-filled marriage, listen, before you even get married, you have to get to a point where you're happy in Jesus alone. The partner is not the one that completes you, it's Jesus. When you can go into a relationship whole, it's a whole different situation. So, the two things I would say is learn how to effectively communicate and be a student of your significant other. Just as you study your books and all of that, as you're getting to know them, study them. Like I can look at my husband and sometimes know what's going through his brain. I know what a certain look means when he's reading something because I become a student of him. And the same with he with me. Even down to picking up a favorite candy bar for me or know the color of things I like. I'm amazed at some couples that don't know little things about each other because they haven't taken time to be a student of each other. When you step into a relationship, especially a marriage, and you truly go in to serve and love that person well, you will focus on those what they bring to the table versus everything they don't.
You better teach the people. You better teach the people. I heard you say first, you need to know that must be complete and whole in Jesus.
Mhm.
To communication, and then the bonus, study your partner. And the great thing about what you just said, even though my question was about those who are married or desire to be, what you just said can be connected to other relationships, as you
Mhm.
said earlier. That is a friendship. That is your family member. Is, do you communicate well? Because that best friend cannot complete you, as they used to say in Jerry Maguire. You complete me. No, they don't. No, they don't. Absolutely not. Do you know your sister's best thing? So it is. I appreciate that and the communication. Y'all better write these notes down. And so, Karen, are you open, since we're on this and we flow, are
Yeah.
you open to sharing about your marriage and something that you all chose to do or not do prior to marriage?
Yeah. Okay. Now, Dr. G, I used to be an abstinence educator. And guess what? It's not used to be, I'm still about that.
Come on.
My husband practiced abstinence. I was abstinent instructor for over 21 years. But here's the deal: when you really believe something is part of your value system and you live it out, there's fruit from it. Me and my husband got to know each other over the 5 years of being friends. We didn't cloud it with all the emotional, all of that stuff. We actually did it God's way. And it has really paid off because we don't have the drama and stuff that a lot of couples have in their marriage. See, it's a difference when your man's coming over and he's not your man yet, so you don't feel a need to put on no makeup, you don't feel a need to go fix anything up. It's just, oh, dude's coming over. So you get to know the authentic person. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now, when that changes in a few years, you've already met the real person. There was no pretense. You're not trying to wow me. I'm not trying to impress you. We good. And so I think that's what's helped our marriage be really strong. It's not built on any pretense. The only thing that jammed us up is he thought after we got married, he thought I was a late night person. And that's when he discovered that was the only thing that was not true. I would take a nap before he was coming over. He didn't know that. But we got married. I'm like, nah, I'm the early bird dog. So he is the night owl. And that was something we worked through because my marriage was not without issues, but we were mature enough to communicate and be able to work through those. So have those family meetings. Me and my husband, we still go on a date. We go on dates almost every weekend, and it's something different. And it doesn't have to be outlandish. Sometimes it's something little, but we still love each other. Our kids are grown, and we still date, and we didn't wrap our world around them. Does that make sense, Dr. G? I can go off
Absolutely.
tangents.
Absolutely. No, I think that's beautiful. One, you said 25 years, y'all
Mhm,
still go on dates. You
mhm.
have family meetings to discuss things. And you said the only thing was, hey, dog, yeah, I go to bed early. I was just taking naps. Okay. I love that. And I love that you shared that with him. Like, I took naps because I wanted to see you, but we together now. I love that. I absolutely love that. And what do you believe abstaining in addition to, like, listen, you're going to get me, this is who I am, we're not clouded by the other stuff, what is another benefit to abstinence?
Abstinence helps you to, I think clearer. And if you need to end something, whatever, you can end and still be friends. I think the main thing is that one, it honors God. And two, sometimes God in relationships, y'all, He will show you red flags. But when you're so caught up with that sexual part, it will dull your senses to hearing and to seeing because the heart will begin and the emotions will begin to see what it want to see and all of that stuff. So I think that's the benefit. Now people are going to tell you, because I was in my 30s when me and my husband was dating, right? They're going to tell you, girl, ain't no man gonna be in no relationship with you and not have sex be a part of your relationship. Okay, cool, but we're not going there. And when I first met Andre, I love him to death. I remember him telling me, Karen, sex is a natural part of relationship. We were just friends, so we weren't trying to hook up or anything. So we would just discuss relationships. And I thought, I know we'll never be together because we're not going to go there, partner. But over the years, I made no effort to sway him to my belief. None. He began to become curious. And then he began to go to my small group with me. And then God began to teach him, and y'all, it's so funny that he decided that sex doesn't need to be a part of his relationship. He had a girlfriend at that time. And when he told his girlfriend, I think they broke up within a few weeks because she was like, oh no. So
Mm.
I'm just saying that don't allow people to tell you what can't be possible if you're believing for something that's God aligned. We don't walk by sight what we see with our eyes. We walk by faith. And we have to believe if we're walking according to God's word, that God is going to honor his word. So don't let people get in your ear with stuff that goes against the word. I'm a living witness to that. I have a man that loves the Lord that I didn't have to beg or woo or any of that. God did something in his heart. He honored what God said. And today we have a strong marriage, still dating, loving ourselves and our dog, and we good.
She said, and we good. I love that. I love that. And if there were more voices out there who would share this, and I know there are, but just the idea of someone hearing what you just said and Maybe they've never heard anybody say that. Like they've never heard it. They hear it in theory. Okay, you shouldn't have sex before marriage. But to
Mhm.
hear not only you encouraging it, but y'all, this is what I walked out. And yes, there may be some people or friends or whoever who try to encourage you to do so, but you've got to trust. And
Mhm.
you, what you just said, do not focus on what you can see. And I
Mhm.
listen, double tap. I'm cheersing you for many personal reasons on that. And I'll tell you this. I remember, so I'm an extra grown, it's fine. I've not done nothing. I'm extra grown virgin. They could do the movie on me. Okay, you know that. And I remember being 19, and there was a friend of mine that came over. We were in college. She came over and she was doing the ugly cry, like, I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
what is wrong with you? And she was crying over a guy, I'm going to make up his name, over a guy named Brandon. And Brandon, and she's just crying. And I'm thinking in my head, why are you crying this much over a guy you literally met 30 days ago? What?
Mhm.
And I said to her, and she's crying, and I said, girl, did you let him tap it? Yes,
Mhm.
I said tap it. Okay. I said, did you let him tap it? And she looked up through her tears and said, how did you know? Because you would not be doing the ugly cry over a dude you just met if y'all hadn't had sex. And for me, it was in that moment when I thought, I don't ever want to be jacked up over anybody except my husband. No, thank you. No. Because I do believe that one of the three things the enemy is using to keep folks down is sex. I do. I do. I think that sex is powerful. I believe that there is a reason that it is supposed to be in the confines of marriage. And being someone who has not gone there, I have a very unique lens, right? So I can see things and tell the impact of stuff like, man, y'all are only still together because those 5 minutes in the bed feel great, but then you still hate each other and you're not good. And if you weren't having sex, I wonder where y'all might be. And I think giving girls and men the option. Karen, I've had many Lyft rides and Uber rides, and a lot of the Lyft drivers like to talk to me and share and all of that. And there have been some young men that have shared, and I've encouraged a few, not everyone, but I've encouraged a few, and I've said, hey, how would you feel about like intentional, genuine friendship? And they're like, well, yeah, I'd be open to that. And I said, would you be open to leaving sex off the table? I said, I'm not saying forever, but would you be open to just putting that to the side and getting to know the person at a pure level? Karen, these young men, or I mean, not all of them were young, but these men looked at me as if I just spoke another language that they had never heard of, but they also looked at me like, wait, that's an option? It's an option to connect with a woman and not have sex. And I looked at them and I said, would you be open to that? And both of them were like, yes, yes. So, what I've learned on this journey is there is an assumption that you have to. The
Mhm.
woman assumes you have to have sex, and the man assumes you have to have sex. But I'm saying, I've talked to not just these two men. I met a man on the plane who was like, I really just genuinely want to be friends with women, but I think the women in my life will be mad at me. And we talked about that. So it seems that there's a pressure that people feel to have sex, and not that they may not want to, but not even knowing that there's an option not to. And the last one I'll give you, there is a colleague of mine who maybe 2 years ago, it's probably been 3 years ago now, and she said, I've been listening to you. I'm dating this guy and I'm taking sex off the table. And I said, oh, wow, that's awesome. Is that something you normally don't do? She said, oh, yeah, everybody I date, I normally have sex with all of them. And sex is off the table. And Karen, she was so nervous. She was so nervous to tell the guy, we're not going to have sex. She was so nervous. And I said, listen, if he honors you and respects you, he'll be fine. He'll do whatever he needs to do before y'all get together, but he'll be fine if he honors you. And this is 3 years ago. 1 year later, they walked across the aisle and got married. And she said, I absolutely was not planning to be engaged 7 months later and get married. And she said, no, we did not get married to rush having sex. That is not why we got married. She said, we got to know each other at the purest level. And both of them were very clear on a desire for marriage. And she basically came back and said, girl, I think that if we would have slept together, think we'd be married today. Karen, what do you think about that?
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. But there's a different confidence too that comes when you know you can be together, have fun, and all of that. When we talk about self esteem, especially with women, when you're in a relationship and you're sleeping with the guy and the relationship is over, man, that does a number on your self esteem. It makes you feel, ooh, rejected or, oh, he moved on. And I'm telling you, it messes you up. So, yes, I believe that they really got to know each other. And when you're really getting to know each other, it's kind of like God is kind of weaving your heart together. And then, bam, you wake up one day like, wait, I think this is the one. So, if girls, you want guys to chase you, take it off the table. Take it off the table because it makes you so unique that's what my husband said. He said, I dated church girls before, but none of them held the line like you did. You know what I mean? It made me more curious to know me, right? Because I was different. And all of us have that power. And that's a workshop. Dr. G, take it off the table.
Take it off the
Take it
table. We're
off.
gonna do it together. Take it off the it's not even an option. So actually what you said your husband said to you, the only person I've ever dated, I've only dated one. I've gone on dates, but I've only had one person I considered a boyfriend, and this is 12, 13 years ago or so. And we were talking, and I didn't have a script. Hey, I'm going to tell you I'm a virgin. That's not what it was. It organically came up. And then he asked me a question and learned that not only was I a virgin, but I hadn't done anything. Like literally, I'm PG too in these streets. And he said to me, I've met women who are virgins, but they've done everything except intercourse. And I've never met anybody who, like, you really have just left everything like off the table. I said, yeah. I said, here's the thing. I'm human. I'm human. So it doesn't mean that I don't have desires here and there. But for me, I don't want to play with fire. I don't want to get to the edge of the mountain and then, oops, I fell. I don't want that. So for me, it's wisdom says, don't even tempt. Just have it all off the table. And it's just lovely when you get to know people at the purest level. At the purest level. And so there have been times in a couple friendships I've been in where folks assume that there may be some kind of physicality going on or something. I'll say, no, we are PG too. Church hug, high five. And they're like, what? He must really respect you. And I said, okay, sure. And it's just the pureness of getting to know someone. And so I hope somebody, Karen, hearing this or listening to this is encouraged to stand your ground. But also, let me say this, we don't ever try to convince anybody. We do not do that. So if your choice is to be abstinent and put it off the table, it is not for you to say, but please, no, nope, no. Because his heart will either be pricked, her heart will either be pricked. Karen, as you said, you didn't tell him we're not doing this. You just thought like, we're not doing this. But there was something, and y'all weren't even dating. This was a budding friendship because he was dating. You were hearing him talk about the girl he was dating, right? Something in the connection convicted him. And what I'm hearing you say, Karen, is you literally were living your life. You
Yes.
were walking and living your life. You weren't pausing anything for any person. You were living your life and blessing those around you with living your life. And I think that's a beautiful way to kind of bring together our lovely conversation with whether it is speaker coaching, whether it is marriage, whether it is something else. It's how can we learn to support people as they are walking out their life, walking out their truth? You, as a speaker coach, you're not telling them to be the type of speaker they're not, as a lot of frameworks have tried to do, telling you not to wear red. Girl, you better wear your red, telling you that your voice puts people to sleep. No, it doesn't. And it's guiding people in the freedom and living your life. Those who desire to be partnered in friendship or dating or whatnot, y'all, one, are you whole in Jesus first? Because he or she will not complete you. They will not. And I'm being led to say this, and Karen will pass it back to you to add on anything if you've heard this. I just have to offer this for whoever is listening. There's the notion out there that the woman is the man's safe space, right? You are his safe space. You are his this. You are his this. And anytime somebody says that to me, I say, I reject that. I can be a source of safety. You are his peace. I can be a source of peace, but that ultimately is the Lord. That is too much pressure on a flawed human to be, I have to be this person's end all be all. Absolutely not. No. Am I a source of peace? Yes. A source, an example of love? Yes. A source of extending grace? Yes. But I am not, cannot be all that because I am not the Lord. And so, Karen, have you ever heard somebody say that in general? Has anybody ever said that to you? What do you think about those types of phrases for, oh, you have to be his safety, you are his peace, you are his fill in the blank?
Yeah, I agree. That's a lot of pressure on flawed humans. We have to come, and that's why, Dr. G, here we go. That's why it is you that God is calling to speak into doing some things with relationships and marriage. We need to really understand what is our role when we're in relationships. Sometimes we put expectations on people that's not even real. They can't even live up to. That's why a lot of women are unhappily married. They're trying to be these super women with capes when that's not even how God designed marriage. So, yes, reject all of that. People need to understand my spouse or my person is my confidant. It's a place that I can share and be and know that I'm safe and that they're not going to go repeat what I said. They're not going to judge me and condemn me in that aspect. But yeah, it has to be a healthy balance. And when you were talking about earlier sex and marriage, listen, y'all, if you're doing everything in a relationship that you do in marriage, what's the point of marriage? What do you
Mm.
have to look forward to? So if you're in relationships, take that off the table. I just encourage you to get to know each other. Then, and when you get ready to get married and go to the next level, you have a lifetime to swing from the ceiling and do whatever else you want. So make sure that you're giving yourself something to look forward to. And don't try to wear this false cape that's not even real. Relationships are partnerships based on, I'd say, three things: on trust, on communication, and respect. It doesn't matter if it's a husband, wife, a teacher, student, friend to friend. Trust, communication, and respect. Those are the three things, that triangle, that's going to help you have great relationships. And for those of us who are believers, we know that Jesus is right smack dab in the center, holding it all together. So I just want to offer that, Dr. G. Quit people got to get free, just as we got free doing your signature speaking coaching program. People need to be free to be authentically who they are in relationships without false expectations and being their true self and letting each other just connect to the heart of who God has made us to be. And they will see fruit in their friendships, in their relationships with their children, with their spouses. And who knows, if you focus on being quality, like I always used to tell the kids, quality attracts quality. Spend your energy on being whole and let God do the drawing for you.
Write that down. That's the talk title. Let God do the drawing. We have taken off the table. We have go back to your 16-year. Listen, this was three master classes in one. This was three talks in one. I just keep hearing freedom. That's the thread that I keep hearing. And I'd like to add to your three, to the triangle. There's one thing I want to add as a consideration that you're going to hear this at the marriage conference. You're going to hear this even more, but I'm being led to offer this now for whoever is listening. One of the main things, and Karen, as I'm saying this, I know you're going to be like, this is why you have to be the one. Okay. I know it. One of the things that I have discovered and God has revealed to me is you also being whole means being healed enough as well.
Mhm,
There are so many people today in relationships
mhm,
with the other person's wound, and they don't even know. Now, it's a hard thing because you may not be aware, but it goes back to Karen, what you said. Are you whole? Are you healed? How do you do that? You go and talk to God. God, is there anything in me that I may not even realize is a wound that I need to release to you? If you're going to counseling, it's not about talk about your childhood trauma. It's not that, because you may not even realize some of the things you went through is considered trauma. It
Mm,
might have been your norm. And so that norm is still trauma, but you don't realize it's trauma because it was your norm and it impacts you to this day. And if you've been in a relationship with someone and you encourage them and try to get them to do this one thing or two things or change, and they haven't, there's a chance that they're unable to do so because they're unaware that
mm,
it's their wound that's keeping them stuck. And that is something that I have realized doing different things and journeying with different people. It's to me, ooh, and this is breaking. I've never shared this publicly. So whoever's listening, the breaking news is research says that money is the number one reason for divorce. It's
mm,
not money. I used to think, oh no, it's that friendship wasn't a foundation. That's it. Those who didn't have friendship as a foundation, that's not it. The number one cause for divorce. Now, it may turn out looking like money, it may turn out looking like
mm,
communication, it may turn out looking like other things, but the number one catalyst to divorce is one or both parties, and Karen, you said this, one or both parties was not healed or whole enough before they got married. And they might have been healed or whole enough when they got married, but something devastating happened within the marriage that caused some wounds and brokenness,
mm,
and they haven't healed yet. It's
mm,
not healed enough yet. And so that's a thing where I've been talking to different folks who do premarital things. I said, does that actually come up about healing wounds and childhood stuff? And I'm like, no, not really. So, what does one do with that? What you do is say, ask yourself, did I go through something that someone might consider to be devastating or difficult when I was young? How has that impacted me today? And is there a chance that what I went through when I was younger, or maybe not so young, is there a chance that that is causing me to create stories in my mind that aren't based on truth? Is it causing me to deflect or defend? Is it causing me to be stuck? There's a chance there's a wound that is not healed enough in that space. And there is not enough encouragement that the partner can give that will heal that wound. The person has to choose to play an active role in their healing journey. They have to play an active role on their healing journey. And Karen, I know this is like the antithesis of what women are taught because we are taught you encourage and you motivate and you do all this stuff. We could do all that in the world, but he
mm.
has to choose to play an active role, actively participate in his healing. Otherwise, it is not going to work.
I agree. Strongly agree.
I strongly agree. So, with that, Karen, we like to end our sessions with final words. What are your final words for the people today?
My final words, if you want to be an exceptional speaker and authentic, take a look at and sign up for, get on that wait list for Dr. Guillory's signature speaking coaching certification program. Y'all, it literally has changed my life. You think you're going to go and become a great speaker? Yeah, you're going to do that. It is so much more. It is a journey to real freedom. It's a journey with other people in a cohort that absolutely just adds so much value to the experience. So I strongly encourage that. And if you want to connect with me, go to Karen Walker Speaks. And most of all, I wish you to have a joy bucket that is full and overflowing like mine is right now. And it is truly coming from not only the joy of the Lord, it's because He has truly set me free. And I wish that for you. I wish that you could have an amazing relationship with your spouse, your kids, your boyfriend, whoever, because you really are healed enough and you are whole. So if you're not, hey, take active steps because life is too short. So go build that life that you love. And I know those are a lot of words, but I tell you, I feel like God has just given me so much. I have such an appreciation for life and for the people He's created and put in my spaces and places to help me be better. And you know, one of them is you, Dr. G. I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast. What an honor. I couldn't have envisioned that when I was 16 years old, that in the future I will be on a podcast with the top speaker in the nation talking to me about what I do. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that we met at the event and your joy is infectious. I know that your words blessed those who listened to you today. And I know that Karen, 16, 20-year-old Karen, is so proud of you and would not even believe the life you're living. If you were to go back and say, girl, let me tell you what you're going to be doing. Let me tell you the life you're going to be living. So, yeah, what that teacher said was wackalicious. Yes, your confidence isn't where it needs to be, but just hold on. Just hold on and you will see. I want to end with affirmations for today that actually based on you, Karen. So the affirmations for today. I know God made me with a purpose and for a purpose. Overflowing joy is available to me. I know God made me with a purpose and for a purpose. And overflowing joy is available to me. All right. Thank you so much. Karen, that was good. Thank you so much for listening to the Dr. G Speaks podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Deuces.